Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Your Story, Our Lens. I am here with special guests. This is Marshall Tyson and Mike Maynard, and they are basically you guys. This is my. I'm gonna take a moment here.
Sure.
So Bruce Hillcrest is apartment housing. You're pretty much on top of that one, like kind of the guy to talk to about that.
And nope, not at all.
Swing and a miss, and then you do like pathways and other types of services to help people. Swing and a miss, right?
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. It's like this is no. I want this in there because this is the thought. When I first met you guys, we met at the homeless meeting, and that was the assumption that I had was that that's what that was. So swing and a miss. What is it that you guys do?
Well, I'll start. I'm Marshall Tyson. I'm the CEO or executive director of United Way Northeast Kentucky, and
Awesome.
We were basically like a community chest where we raised money to support organizations and what they did inside the community. And we've now moved into a program-based organization where we work directly with organizations, and we still fund some organizations to continue with services. And so, and this is not only one of the partner programs, but a true friend of mine and a brother of mine that I get to work with. It's so you don't know where I end and he begins, and vice versa. But that's part of what that is when it comes to United Way. And then,
yeah, and so I'm Mike Maynard. I'm the executive director for Hillcrest Bruce Mission. And when they built Hillcrest and Bruce apartments in 1969 and 71, there was just a lot of folks in a small area, and they had needs. And a church a couple blocks over just started helping with food and clothes. And we're in that church basement for a couple years. And then we were given a couple of apartments to use on the Bruce side there, and we were there for a dozen years. And we were able to do additionally some nutrition, cooking classes, parenting classes. And then there became this vision of wanting to help folks with dental care, because at that time Medicaid didn't cover dental, and there wasn't Head Start or preschools like they are today. And so they wanted to be able to provide a free preschool. So they raised money and built our community center, which is on Eloise Street, close to White's Meat Market there. And so
I love those guys.
Yeah, and it's 55 years this year that we've been operating in the community. And so our job is to help stabilize people. A lot of times people face barriers: transportation, childcare, education, employment, lots of different things. And so our job is to take a person individually and a family individually and figure out what their challenges are and walk along with them and try to help them overcome those barriers so they can be successful.
And that is awesome. I had heard, so see, this is where you think you know something and you don't have a clue. So like this goes perfect with what I was going to go into on this. We had met some ladies that came on, and they are moving forward with hope. And amazing ladies, their minds are in the right place, their hearts are in the right place. I didn't have enough information to be able to say one way or another. So I said, I know a couple of guys who would definitely know exactly what to talk to you about. So that's why we got in touch with you on that. And I think that that's going to be awesome. So moving forward, they couldn't come here today because they had to go to work. Something came up. Can we give them your number for them to get in touch with you guys? And
absolutely.
Then, okay, because I'd like to do a follow-up later, and get you guys all on here to talk about what you guys might want to work on in the future, because I think it's amazing when somebody has a servant's heart, like a person that wants to help. Like, I don't care what a person did in their lifetime. If you're wanting to help, we'll hand you something to get in there and get in the fight, I'm cool with that. What is it that you guys are working on right now that you guys are like most wanting to get out there?
Well,
it's a lot. I know, because I've heard this stuff.
I will say this much about it. What I enjoy the most about this opportunity that I have to be able to serve in our community is that I do get to work hand in hand with him, and the things that we try to do inside the community, like every project that I do, even though I can consider bridge builders or something like that a part of United Way, it still feels like it's just something we do together. Somewhere along the lines, we're intertwined in this opportunity. So every program that I basically have and that we're utilizing, he's a part of it somewhere along the lines in it.
That's cool.
And so, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And about the partnership. So When we do our Bridge Builders program with our student-led, which is a student-led program, which is recognized like a beta club or key club, these students, we basically allow them to choose their projects that they want to do for the year, and then they get that out. And then whatever they decide, we just kind of help and support them.
That's awesome.
And which basically gives them a chance to get a voice inside the community. But what's so awesome about that is most of them, when it comes time to volunteering or projects, we're working with Hillcrest. They get to volunteer there, or we're going to be doing different types of opportunities when we do our turkey drives and all that stuff. Whatever it is, we're somehow we're all connected and to be able to work together. So I have a young lady who's interning with me now. It wouldn't shock us all if she ended up president of the United States one day, but she interned under Mike. She's interning under me, and she just has such an amazing servant's heart. So we get to see a lot of amazing things happen with these kids and other projects. And we do have several different projects we are working on together that we can get into here in a second. But I mean, I just want to make that clear that even when you think of the United Way, I want you to think about the connections we have and the programs that we have together and the partnerships more than just saying it's something I'm doing, it's something we're doing.
Love
and
that.
So that's kind of how I want to put that. But we are looking at doing an Alice project, which we're calling the Commonwealth Way. I'll let Mike share a little bit too about it, and then I'll share some. We'll come back to that, and then. But he's got a ton of other things that he could probably get to.
And so one of the things that we had looked at years ago was United Way was going toward this model of where they wanted to focus on organizations that were helping folks with education, employment, and empowerment. And so we revamped a lot of what we were doing to kind of mirror that. I mean, we saw the benefits of that, and we saw that those were the things that were going to help people become successful.
Yeah.
And so all the programs really that we do, they support these E's from United Way. And, you know, and I think we've added essential needs onto that now too with the fourth E. And really, if you have any psychology background, if you've ever taken a class, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, to where that, you know, if somebody is struggling with homelessness, they're probably not going to be thinking about education, you know, or employment, because you just can't do that. And so we've really looked at that model with those 4 E's from United Way, and how do we build programs that support each of those? And, you know, and when Marshall came on board, and you know, we'd always worked with United Way, but not anywhere like we do now. And like Marshall said, it's pretty much, I mean, if you think about the mission, we want you to think about United Way, because without United Way's support, there's no way we could do what we do.
That's awesome. Because I've heard some of the amazing stuff. Like, you guys give away cars for people. Like, was that like once a year or something? Or
No,
how do you guys do that?
We just gifted our 21st car.
In 1 year?
Not 1 year. No,
Oh, okay. So like over. Okay, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
You know, and it's because the thing is that people need different things at different stages, and so a lot of times when people are getting either ready to start a job or start school, you know, it's city, but it's really not. It's rural,
right?
And buses really can't service rural areas sufficiently. Can't get people to work, can't get people to daycares, and
especially in cold or weird weathers and just all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And so for a lot of our folks who they've put in the work and they've done everything they need to do, and they're getting ready to start that part, well, they got to have a vehicle.
That's awesome.
And so you know, we've had folks just donate stuff directly to us. We've had folks at the vehicle registration office that have recommended folks who buy cars and didn't know what to do with the old ones give to us. We've had United Way that has partnered with local dealerships here, and that have given us vehicles. Because, you know, and if you start talking about in the community, everybody wants other people to succeed, and they don't understand they probably have a piece. And so with United Way, it's neat that they become this coordinating agency. To where that, you know, with this philosophy of the 4 E's and the structure, well, now this organization, this person, this family, this church, this business can all pour into United Way.
That's awesome.
And they can help direct the funds to where it's going to have the greatest impact for the community. Because that's the goal, is that there's finite resources. There's only so much money, so much time, so much things.
Absolutely.
And we got to use it in a way it's going to help the most people in the biggest way.
That's 100% what we're trying to do here. We we have a couple of things upcoming here soon that we're hoping to get some help with. We have an idea, we'll say it like that. I want to find a couple of car dealerships to work with because I love making commercials. I love taking pictures, and photography is like my hobby and my passion. If I can work with a couple of good car dealerships, I'm hoping that maybe they can work with us on not only financial means, but because I'll be able to give them such services that are going to help their businesses, that they will maybe not just gift me a car, but like if they have old stuff, maybe I can, help you guys out in maybe getting some services out like that. So like one hand washing the other sort of thing.
Sure.
And my thing that I love about this place is that we meet interesting people and we have these awesome conversations. I just want to be I keep telling everybody, I want to be Switzerland. I want to be the place where I tell you where this is happening. You can go to them to get the best answers that you could possibly get. Like, this is where you want to put your resources because they're doing this work. I just want to be like the crossing road that you find, you know what I mean? Like, and that'll get you to where you're supposed to be. God puts you where you're supposed to be every single time. And I don't know enough about some of the stuff because I'll have people ask me all the time, hey, what do you do on this? Or what do you do on this? And I'm like, I don't really know, but I can get you to somebody who does. And I'm glad that you guys are here finally. After we leave, if you guys have business cards and stuff, I'm going to pin those suckers right to that wall right there. And every time somebody comes in, I'm going to get them to the right people that need to do the stuff. So in this Project Alice, what is it?
For sure. Well, I'll say this too. We do have lots of great organizations inside our community that do a lot of great work.
Right.
And it's not that we don't align with everyone. It's just there's certain things that we have to, those 4 E's are very important to be able to navigate. Yeah. So that's why we continue to support. So we do have some great organizations out there. But when it comes to the Alice Project, it is, I'm not a big fan of the name, but I understand
like
it's asset limited, income constrained, employed. And which this is, it basically is dealing with those who are living paycheck to paycheck or below the poverty line, and just right there, so close to being able to make it. But even the reason why I don't really care for how it says it, because sometimes even if you do make a decent amount of money, sometimes you don't have all the skills to be able to navigate those waters. So I don't want it to feel like it's a separation that you have to be here and everybody. No, I think it could be anyone in any situation if you don't know how to do certain things, or anybody can get behind and get in a difficult space in no time. So
quick,
those things happen. But we've rebranded the name and we're calling it the Commonwealth Way, which we've had a tremendous help from Five and Dime Creative with Brandy Clark and her team. They're amazing.
Went in there and spoke with them.
They're
really
fantastic. Nice. And so we started with a rebranding. We have multiple organizations that are involved with helping us build, and we want to build some pillars and some workshops out of this. So it's not about just a program, because that's not what we want this to be. We want this to be an opportunity, a lifestyle change, a mindset change. And Mike does a fantastic job of explaining the mindset change here in a second. I'll just pass that over to him. But we want to be able to help people change that part of them, because that's where real change begins internally, right? And then you can start seeing things happen outside of that. So I'll pass it to you if you want to share a little bit about the mindset that we're talking about and a little bit more about where we're headed.
Yeah, so a lot of folks, especially that we're dealing with, we've got folks in our work placement program that could be on welfare, or maybe they're on food stamps. And so the thing is that folks that have grown up in generational poverty, the time frame of how that they frame problems is very narrow. A lot of it is about, what am I going to do today that's going to help me today?
100%.
And so, and in that context, it makes perfect sense why people make the decisions they do, because it does make a difference for that day and it does help them that day.
Right.
The problem is, of course, that
the long-term
thing, it ruins them. And so even all the work that we do to where we can help someone get educated, help them get a vehicle, help them get child care, help them get housing, all these things, and they get a job. If we haven't changed them from a today thinker to a tomorrow thinker,
it's fantastic.
they're not going to make the best decisions that are going to set them up for the future. And so, our job is mostly getting people into those first jobs that have livable wages. But even at that, anybody starting out,
Yeah.
it is because housing's expensive, gas is expensive, food's expensive. And so you are going to start out living paycheck to paycheck. But it's amazing when you start talking to other folks in the community that, they started putting a little bit back into retirement, took advantage of a matching 401k. They bought life insurance.
See, I love that stuff because I have no clue about any of that stuff. I've worked so many jobs and I still don't know about what that 401k, I probably got like 30 of them sitting out there somewhere and I have no clue what they do or where they go.
Exactly. And most of us aren't taught those things.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the biggest change is changing people from a today thinker to a tomorrow thinker. And that's really with this Commonwealth Way project is that we've got all the experts in the community with health insurance and health services and life insurance and wealth management and education, all these different things through the community. We have people here and they want to help. And so the idea is that we craft these workshops that can teach these folks who are living paycheck to paycheck, where they might be able to just make minor changes to their life to where that eventually all that's going to accumulate and they're not going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And so like Marshall said, it's not a program. It's opportunities to get in front of folks that can give you advice that you've not been taught. So it's because that's the thing we find out that most people, their success or them being able to get employed, it's not a desire issue. It's not a motivation issue.
Right.
They've grown up in a different culture and they've never been exposed to these things that have helped people become successful. So our job for people who are willing to put in the work and do what they can, we've got everybody in the community now rallied around United Way and this Commonwealth Way project so that we can help them break out of this paycheck to paycheck, and which is going to increase the quality of life for their family. And it's just going to make the community better too.
And what's so awesome about this is, like you said, there was lots of those things I didn't know. My dad was in insurance and he sold life. He did it all. And my dad made a lot of money. In the 80s, he brought in over almost $280,000. And so we lived great. But then when drugs and alcohol kicked in, it was a game changer. And so my dad had this wealth of knowledge, but he never passed it on. And so, I heard all these things, but I had to sit in these rooms like I knew what they were talking about, but had no idea what they were talking about until I've gotten older. And so I've had to see things. But even at that, if I would have known now what I would have known at 20 and could have made those same decisions, I didn't believe when you grow up without things, you don't know that you can live making those same sacrifices as you get older. So I get to college and start my life and become a father and a husband and all these different things, and I still lacked those skills. And so that's why this project is so important to me, because I was in that position. And I'm going to actually go through the whole process. I want to go through it all just so I can see if there's something I could pick up on that I missed or whatever to be better. And that's one thing about the Commonwealth Way that we love is we're making this something that you can be a part of for the rest of your life. So even if you complete the workshops, if you ever find yourself in a space, we want you to be able to know that you can always come back through, and there's probably a resource in it that you may have missed or something you need to learn better.
I love that.
To get back at and continue. So this is a lifetime commitment that we want to make, and we're not charging anybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know,
it's just we just have great partners out here.
Great partners
who want to help, and it's this knowledge base, and it's and that's the thing. And I was very fortunate. I had a lot of great mentors coming up through, and just had access to some of this information, and it's made a huge difference, in my life. And and you look at it, and you talk about entitlement or whatever, but it's just this fairness thing of, not everybody has been given, that same knowledge or information.
It's true.
And so if we can do that, we can level the playing field. Now, not everybody might be equal, but everybody's going to have equal opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that's the key, is that we have to build this environment so that people have the greatest opportunity to succeed if they want to. Ultimately, it's their choice.
Yeah.
But we just see a lot of folks that we just know can benefit from this.
And like Mike said too, this doesn't just help this individual; it could change an entire family. It can change
quickly,
generations.
quickly.
You know,
Yeah.
I grew up with two friends. I was just telling somebody the other day, my buddies, and all his 3 siblings, all 3 are doctors, but their parents were doctors.
It's amazing.
Right? And it's like I've always wondered, like, you know, but that's the environment they were raised in. These are things. This is how they thought. This is how they operate. And so, just to be able to think every day, like, so I remember in school where we were always cracking jokes and acting silly. My friend was always studying. He had a discipline that so many of us didn't have, and so that's what I'm talking about. Like, if we can offer this back to folks, and people can see that, like, you know. And like you said, it's not about credit. It's about
getting it done.
This is
As
a
long as it
community, right? It
works.
takes a village, right?
takes a
Truthfully,
village.
it takes all of us to work together to do something.
100%. There was a couple times in my life I've gotten really, I won't just say lucky, I'll say, like, you know, preparation sometimes meets like the now, you know, like when you have opportunity and if you've prepared, it's going to make this nice little transition to the next part of your life. When I was younger, I hung around with they were amazing people, had good heart, but they were all idiots. And they all, and I won't say we all had different things on our minds, right? Like, our mindset was today. Like, when you said, you know, future outlook, you're so spot on with that, because today we were trying to make money. Like, this is today, you know, we want that cash right now. And we didn't think about, like, you know, 401ks. We didn't know any of that stuff. So, like, it was nothing. So today was the only thing we thought of. So that's where our mindset was. If you hang out with people that only know this little thing, you're going to be exactly that little thing. Cause, you know, you only know what you know. So, like, if I was told once, it said, if you want to fly with the eagles, you can't be hanging around turkeys. And I thought, man, listen, that is the coolest thing I had ever heard. I was like, yes, that is so real. So I stopped and I started looking for the people around me that were smarter than me so I could ask questions. It's so true. You do not want to be the smartest person in the room. And if you ever feel that you're the smartest person in the room, get out of that room. Like, you got to go find some place where you're not the smartest person in the room.
Absolutely.
Ask people for help. Try to, like, work on things. Those are things that I'm passionate about. I really want to help, and I think programs like this is going to be awesome. I don't just say it as a program. That's not just a program. That's a change up. Like, that's you know, you're talking changing somebody's mindset is first and foremost probably one of the hardest things to do, because nobody wants to be made the fool, or nobody wants to feel like they're wrong in something, right? So, like, sometimes our biggest, like, obstacle is getting out of our own way.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many years I thought that I knew what I was doing because it worked for the now. Like, I was amazing at the now. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, boy, I could make me $100 today. Like, and we're gonna be great. You know, that was the now. I didn't know that I needed something for the later. I didn't have anybody really relying on me for certain things either. So it was like, I think the transition started to happen when I started noticing that other people did know more than I did, and that I could definitely benefit from listening to what they had. Like, so the advice part was great. Do you guys work with any of, like, the vets or veterans or anything like that in any of this?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to say this before we go any further. I mean, that's one, when you talk about being in the room with certain people, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy being around Mike. And I ask him questions all the time. He's one of the first people I got to talk to about serving in the military, and he served for quite a long time. I don't want to butcher the number. How many years?
26 years.
26 years.
Let's go.
And so
Army guy. I could spot him.
Yeah, it's
That's
noticeable.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
But
That's good.
I ask him that because of the disciplines and the things that he's learned and the things that he has, and I love that. That's the only regret I think I really have in life, is that I didn't.
Yeah.
So, and I was taught the other things. I was taught everybody not to do it. Like, it's one of those things that it wasn't brought up in my household, and I wish I would have. But I would have loved to have served our country to get a better understanding of certain things as well. But I mean, that's so if you're asking that, I mean, whether we do a direct service or whatever, I would always want to be able to serve
100%.
those who've served our country and served us. And I'm not trying to be preachy, but I'll say, you know, one of the things I love about the Bible is Jesus washed the feet of men. You know what I mean? He was the king that fought for the bottom, right?
Servant's heart.
And so to know that somebody who's in the position he's in was willing to lay his life down for us for so many years, it means a lot. And so, but I appreciate that. But so that's my answer. But Mike can. Yeah.
And so again, I think it comes back to a discussion we were having earlier that whether you're a veteran or whether you're not, we just have a lot of folks who are hurting and struggling.
Sure.
And so I don't think we're going out intentionally trying to find certain categories, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
In our daily course of stuff, we're running in to folks that have served in different capacities, with the military. We're fortunate in Carter County. There's Volunteers of America, and they're part of community action through the U.S. And so they get a lot of funding to be able to help for vets that are homeless, which we also have locally. Up in Huntington with the VA, they have a homeless services there. But we've also, to keep people from becoming homeless, they've got money they can help out with rent and utilities.
That's very cool.
They've bought beds for folks that we've worked with. And so we work hand in hand with VOA to be able to help folks that were veterans to be able to get the service they need. And that's one thing you mentioned before too, is that everybody's situation is unique.
It's completely.
And everything that they've been a part of, whether they were a veteran maybe, whether they were a foster child, there's lots of things to where that there may be more help for somebody based on their life circumstances. And so until you sit down with them and really get to know them and their situation, so there's no cookie cutter answer. Oh, you have this problem, this is where you need to go, or this is what you need to do. I have no idea until we sit down with folks, because they may qualify for certain things, and there are certain things that they won't be. And the most frustrating thing is to send somebody to get help somewhere, and then they get there and then they don't qualify.
Exactly my point.
And they've wasted gas, they've wasted time. It's the most frustrating thing. So, and we don't offer every single service that somebody needs.
Which is exactly why I'm making that little board, is because I don't want to just send somebody out somewhere and say like, oh yeah, this is going to help you 100%. Like this is going to get you right what you need. Like I hate that arrogance of just telling somebody something and I not have a clue. So I'm one of the big proponents that if I don't know something, I'll be the quickest one to tell you. I don't know how to do that, but I can help you with it. Like, I mean, I'll still work with you and try to help you figure it out. But yeah, that I love.
I can't mention this to you too. One resource that we have. I mean, it's one we're working on and getting better. But 211, which is a non-emergency number you can dial that has all a listing.
211.
211, and it has
cool.
all of our resources. And they're actually coming from out of Lexington, the Bluegrass, the United Way of the Bluegrass. They're going to be sending some folks here next month or this month to come speak at the interagency meeting, and they're going to be able to. Our goal is to get our 211 database a lot stronger and have more information in it so people can have. But it is a resource guide, and any resources that we have in our community, you can dial that number, you can get through it. But
that is awesome.
But it's going to get updated. Yeah. But they and then also gives us a resource. We get the data to find out how many people have called for whatever specific needs, so we can see what the needs are inside the community. But that is an extra resource to have. Like Mike said, I mean, we need everybody. I mean, there's so many different things, but we also 100%. Need it to be we are working on the same page in what we're trying to accomplish.
See, I love that. The reason why I asked about the veteran thing is because I didn't really start to make a turnaround in my life or see a turnaround in my life until I really started not just hanging out with veterans, but like really listening to not just the stories that they had to say, but the wisdom that they actually had with it, because it was life experience that I couldn't even have imagined, right? Like, and I knew that there's like a hierarchy inside of the service where you have people who reach certain plateaus in their life that they get to, and it's like they can see a lot further than what I could from my little plateau that I was on, right? And I couldn't make it to these nice little hills unless I knew that those hills even existed. Because like for me, it was like, look forward, don't look up, like, you know, and you don't know that those things are even there. So Mr. Wayne kind of helps me, like that's the vet that I talk with, and he's like a father figure to me. Like I'd do anything in the world for this dude. He is the smartest guy that I have ever met. He was in Vietnam, he had to deal with all these struggles that I couldn't even imagine on like a serious level. And he's just the coolest dude ever. He's like a literal like wellspring of knowledge that I can just talk to anytime I need to. And I think that that's really cool if you had something in place that could like somehow introduce like the youth to more veterans to where they could like not only just see. Let me take one step back. The biggest superpower that we have is to be able to look at somebody who's going through a trouble or a struggle and say, I don't want to do that. You get to learn and experience without having to go through that experience is a superpower. If I see somebody jump off of a cliff and I go, God, he hit hard. I now don't have to do that. Like it's over with. I'm good. I just learned this awesome, valuable lesson. Thank you, my friend. Like that was cool. Like, like that's where I come with that. I think, man, if I can just save myself from troubles. I had sorry to cut this off for a second, but we did a Veterans Day memorial. Miss Peggy Mullins put that together. It was amazing, right? It was an amazing thing. I come out there to help. I've got like a little set of speakers, some microphones, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be able to help these. It's going to be great, right? And I got this in my mindset. Listen, the worst thing happens midway through the speech. The speaker cuts off. Instantly, I'm heartbroken because now I'm feeling like I'm responsible for this whole entire, which I am, and I go over there as quick as I could to try to fix the issue and try to get it working again. She's trying to, and I'm like, oh God, I'm making this so bad. This is like, this is the worst thing ever, right? So my point with this is, if I could have learned something that could have helped me in this situation before having to get to this situation, God knows I would have loved it. I would have loved to have had any kind of thing that could have helped here in this situation. I ended up like being able to makeshift a quick microphone out of like some of the parts from my camera that I pulled together, and at the last second pulled some of this together, put a little microphone down in the grass, and I caught all the audio and was able to clean everything up to make it this really nice package that you could look at online right now, which looks great. You wouldn't even know that there was an issue, but if you were there, listen, it was humiliating. I was like, I cannot believe that just happened to me. Like, I just really did this. Like, because it's one thing to like, let down the people that are closest to you, but I'm letting down people that are fallen, like, I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, I brought Mr. Wayne to this thing. I'm like, he's seeing me fail right now. And I'm like, oh, this is all bad. So the reason I say that is just, if you can learn and experience without having to go through it, trust me, it's you might want to do that. So, but yeah, those ladies, that's what I was going back to. They're wanting to do a bus, and this bus is going to be this long bus that they're going to outfit and put showers in it and washers and dryers in there, so that way people can do hygiene and things like that. Do you guys have any advice for them as far as like who they should go to for something along those lines? Or do you have any advice on what they should do with that bus, like versus what they're intending?
Yeah, and so, and no doubt, and until here recently, I think we had what one laundromat in Ashland.
Yeah.
And so it makes it hard, especially for families.
Yeah.
That, live in a place where they don't have, washers and dryers and they got to go. And so we're lucky now. I think we've got 3 now in the county, spread throughout a little bit. And you start thinking about, where folks would need these kind of services. And, it's definitely, you would think families, that need laundry services probably more.
Yeah.
And then you think about, where would you set up to where you'd have enough people that could utilize the kind of service and those kind of things. And so a lot of our apartment complexes, they have laundry facilities or inside of those too. So one of the things I know that we had down at the neighborhood, they have a place called Clean Start, and they have showers down there at the neighborhood.
That's cool.
And so a lot of folks, especially that are staying at the Salvation Army, they'll utilize those showers. And I know I've talked to some folks who, are working, maybe staying at the shelter and they're working, and try to utilize the showers. It's not 24 hours a day though. Yeah. And so Sometimes the timing doesn't exactly work out. So, it could be a possibility to maybe work with Salvation Army and work with the neighborhood, because it does tend to see you do have quite a bit of foot traffic, folks who are already utilizing shower services, but maybe they're not open long enough or robust enough. And so there could definitely be some possibilities.
Like an overflow or something sort of way.
Yeah, it's only open a couple days a week for a few hours, so so there's probably pretty good opportunity probably
now,
for people would need that.
With that, since you guys have done most of this stuff, what is the biggest common downfall that you see for people that are trying to get out there and help? Like what is the biggest hurdle that kind of hurts new people?
I would only say one. I mean, I don't know about all of them, but I would say, and the advice you say give to them, I would say be open to conversation, right? Because I mean, that's the best way you're going to learn. I mean, it's hard to, we all know that we're all compassionate about, but sometimes compassion can lead to some other things in the long run too. So it's not that I'm not saying that no one should, but I mean, that's one thing. And, two, I will say it's hard to really work together in today's day and age, not because you don't want to sometimes, but sometimes based on funding, based on location,
timing,
there's so many different things.
Variables.
There are barriers that can create that are causing people that they can't get to. So, but my main thing is, walk in this thing humbly, be open to ideas and be open to change, because you can think it one way and it can be something completely different. So that's how I would approach it. But I mean,
and it's, we have a very compassionate community, and a lot of folks they perceive a need that needs to get filled, and a lot of times they may not know that there are already other agencies
already in that spot,
doing that space. And so one of the things that we look at, because every organization that stands up, there's administrative costs, through insurance, maybe utilities if you're trying to get a place, and so those operational expenses, that's leakage of money that people donate to you that doesn't get used directly to help somebody. And so I know one of the things that we encourage people all the time who think they want to get into this space of compassion or helping people, look and see what somebody in the community is already doing.
Right.
Because you may be able to just come right alongside them and help bolster the capacity that they have already.
100%. Yeah.
And so, if they're looking, at shower or laundry facilities, probably ought to, visit the folks that are already doing that kind of help, because we may not have enough capacity. And so they may be able to help increase that capacity, and they may be able to help more people by partnering with somebody who's already doing that kind of thing. So we look at that all the time.
For sure. And you said something too that I think is critical too. There's lots of families that might be in need. But I would say this too, because with that, the truth of the matter is, that when you talk earlier, what you were saying with dignity, there's going to be a stigma that comes along with that.
It is.
It is. There's no way around that. It's going to be hard for people to say that especially wherever you park it at, how you do that, and where somebody walks in and says,
you can make it discreet.
There's going to have to be a way to. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying there's going to be ways that it's going to really hit, because your hours are going to be probably fundamentally different. You're probably going to have early mornings, late nights, and different things. Maybe that could be an option. I don't know. But like he said, if you're partnering with somebody, that's different. Because the neighborhood could always, I'm sure they could always utilize something like that during certain times. Like you said, with the Salvation Army, especially if there's one of the cold days or certain things like that when there's overflow.
I noticed that when I was homeless, there was a real horrible thing that happened with generous people that wanted to help. They all put their resources in, but it seemed like they were all doing the same services. So that goes perfect with what you were saying. Like, if they had kind of teamed up or went with the people that were already doing it, those services could have been more utilized to the pinpoint spots that they needed to, instead of just being taken advantage of. Because I used to hate that. Like, I'm not shy about telling people, like, I hated some of the parts of my childhood, right? Like, I've had some real bad moments, but in that, it's kind of given me perspective to see some of the ways that people are being taken advantage of. It kind of puts me in a better position to help people that way. Like, in the resource game that we have, it is all limited. Like, so, if if we use the same resource on something that's already out there, you just took one part that could have helped somebody else out dramatically, you know? So what do you think going forward, all of these companies, is there a way to stop that as much as, like, I mean, we already said one, which is like kind of team up with the people that are already in the space, but is there another way that we could possibly do that to like shore up some of these resources, you think?
Yeah, I think, and so one of the neat things is that because we were talking about it earlier back at the mission, we were talking about, you know, people that, you know, may visit a food pantry more or less out of habit. They just go every month and get food, whether they need it or not. But they go, it's available, and there's nothing wrong with that. One of the things that we see up in our neighborhood, you know, on the western part of Boyd County, is that, you know, around tax time when people get, you know, refunds back, our food pantry numbers drop.
So
when people got stimulus checks, our numbers dropped.
Wow.
And so, and to me, that just tells you the character of our neighbors who are coming to get help. You know, and I've had numerous neighbors that have come to me and they'll come to get the food pantry and like, hey, I haven't been here in a couple months because, you know, I didn't really need it. And I was afraid that if I came and got food that somebody else couldn't get it.
Yep.
And it's like, man, you know, and it's just, it touches your heart. And I was at 99% of the folks that we're helping at the mission have this mindset that when they come there, whether it's for clothes, whether it's for food, whatever it's for, they're just coming when they have a need. And so I think part of the thing is that it's how we treat folks. You know, we've talked about this, you know, today, this dignity thing and this respect thing. We refer to everybody who comes in as neighbors.
I like
they're not
that.
clients, they're not consumers, they're our neighbors.
That's
you know,
awesome.
We set up our offices so that desks aren't between us. They're against the wall so that we're equal.
Yeah.
You know, you go to some places like a clothing closet, limit 2 pairs of pants, limit 3 shirts. Just like Marshall said earlier, we set ourselves in control of them now.
Right.
We are making decisions for them. Well, anytime you do stuff like that, you know, and you control it, oh, you can only get this and this and this and this and this. Our food pantry, you go into it, so it's like you get peanut butter, you can have crunchy or smooth. Which do you want? You get jelly, do you want strawberry or grape? Everything in our food pantry is a choice. So our neighbors are in control of what they get.
See, I like that.
When they go to the clothing closet, if it fits you and you need it, you can have it. I don't want nobody to explain to me why they need an extra pair of pants or shirts.
100%.
Probably humiliating.
Yeah, it is.
It's embarrassing. So we focus so hard on how we deliver services, not the what part, not the food, not the clothes, not what it is, but how.
Yeah.
Our Christmas time, you know, and we have a lot of great churches and agencies that do these angel trees, giving trees, and again, we frame this problem as, oh, there's a kid and family, it's not going to get Christmas, and we're going to swoop in and we're going to save the day. And we do that for the western part of Boyd County. We have a program like that, and I remember years ago a dad coming in, he was picking up the presents that he'd signed his kids up for, and so he was waiting for us to get them, and he said, man, he said, I hate doing this.
Yeah.
He said, I hate having to come here and get help, and I can't buy my kids Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's a punch in the gut.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you think you're trying to do good. Again, like you said earlier, you know, nobody out here helping anybody is you know, ill-intentioned.
Right.
We're all trying to do the best we can.
100%.
But sometimes I don't think we understand the effects of the help that we're trying to give.
Yeah.
And so we get donations all year long, so we save up anything Christmassy. So we'll save Christmas trees, Christmas wreath, ornaments, decorations, knickknacks, clothes.
That's cool.
Everything Christmas. And then anything that we get in that's brand new or like new, we save. And starting the first Tuesday, we start a Christmas store. People come through, they can get 1 tree, they can get 1 brand new toy, and they can get 5 items that are like new.
That is awesome.
Trees are $5, brand new toys are $2.50, and everything like new is 50 cents.
See, I like that you do that because that's affordable to where you feel like you're the one that is purchasing the stuff for your kids. Like that's awesome.
And that's exactly. A parent gets to say, I bought Christmas for my kid.
Let's go. I like that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
The dignity and that help. And so the end result, kids are getting Christmas presents.
Absolutely.
Same result. but how you deliver the service changes the help completely.
That's amazing.
And so, with our food pantry, with our clothing closet, with our Christmas store, I think we have created this atmosphere where the neighbors know we love them, we care about them. And so I think that eliminates people taking advantage of you.
100%. That's
because
awesome.
they respect you and they know what you're trying to do, and they will only come and get the help when they need it. So,
and even in that too, like you just said, and there's people there that wouldn't even let you try to take advantage of a situation like that because they love it's not necessary. I remember it's kind of not the same, but I was in Jamaica. I remember when I went to Jamaica, and the resort that we were staying in, like the people were so fantastic at the resort, but there was one guy, his room got mixed up, and they had to give him the honeymoon suite, and he threw a fit about having to get this new room because his room he paid for. Well, he hadn't seen the honeymoon suite, and my brother was getting married, so I'd already seen the other one. So I'm like, chill out.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You got a great place to be. Like, relax. You know, I promise you. When you come back down, I told him, I said, come back and just apologize because when you see your room, it's over. And he did, and they actually thanked me for standing in a common situation. I didn't know the guy, but whatever. But that's what you see. Like it's what Mike said. It's like I told him this the other day. It's like Cheers. And, you walk in and that's how everybody operates. Like you just
I love
don't.
that. Like everybody knows your name. Yeah, they just ready to go.
Yeah, I don't want to say half the problems. By the time they get to him, like he wouldn't even know it. Like because
that's
the way people troubleshoot. So
I remember the first year when we were doing the Christmas store, and at that first year we didn't have as much, and so I think it might have been the second or third day. We didn't have a whole lot left, and so somebody had written something on a piece of paper, and basically it was lifting the limits because it was just, things been picked through a little bit, and so it was just like free shopping or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the person misinterpreted it, and somebody was trying to pay, and they wouldn't take the money. Oh man, they came back to me upset.
Yeah.
That they had saved this money up
to
pay for it.
Right.
And they said, your person back there won't let me pay.
That's yeah.
I mean,
God, that's it. I love that in so many ways. Last year we tried to help. We did a toy drive and a food drive, and the food drive was amazing. Like it was fantastic. Everybody came out, donated stuff. We had a big table. How many tables did we fill? It was like 3 tables, which was amazing because I've never been in no position to ever do that for anybody. So it was just amazing, the toys, we filled it up like 2 or 3 times full of toys. And I mean, these parents were coming in and they're like, are you sure we can have this many? Like, other places kind of give us man, listen, we're able to help one family. That's cool. That's more than what we expected we would have been able to do. So was super awesome. But we had the help of, what is that church? What was that church called? The one in Huntington?
Oh, geez. Assembly of God?
I don't want to I wish I could give them better credit. I promise I will put this at the bottom of the screen for that church. They were amazing. They had so many people had brought in so much stuff. They had
It's Christ Temple.
oh, okay.
Christ Temple is what it was. They had so much stuff in there that people had brought in. It looked like a small mall.
Unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. The staff was all working like nonstop. You could see how busy it was. That is what I'm talking about right there. That made me happy just to see that. So we did a full video of them doing that just to get it out there for people. It was just cool, man. Yeah. So this year, I think what we're going to do is we will take donations for people, but we want to bring it to the place where they actually are going to come to pick it up. So it's going to go to you guys do a Christmas thing. I'm just going to stay in contact with you guys, and you guys we'll do it straight.
Yeah,
to
and
you
we
guys.
coordinate because CARES down at the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They do signups for Christmas for the east part of Ashland, and you got your family resource centers that help kids out. Yeah. And so we all coordinate and talk together to make sure that all the help that comes in
100%
goes to the most amount of folks.
There you go, guys. If you guys are hearing this, that you guys just heard it right there. That's how you do it. There's going to be a sign-up place where you guys can donate, where you can drop off. We will get that information out to you. It will be at the bottom of the link. You guys work with CARES as well, so that's awesome. So these are the partnerships that this is awesome.
And that's what I wanted to add to what he just said. These are some of our unsung heroes inside of our community. Our Family Resource Center folks are absolutely amazing, and they work pretty much 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, they never stop, and they are. I mean, absolutely amazing. And the ones that and the Family Resource Centers, where most of those staff are the ones that help with our Bridge Builders program in the schools that we're in. Marathon Petroleum and Marathon Marine and Transportation.
Yeah.
People don't realize our community is far different without these folks.
100%.
Absolutely amazing givers,
100%.
and not just givers. They actually volunteer
Mhm.
and get out and do things inside of the community. So you can't thank them enough. King's Daughters are our banks,
Yeah.
our local banks, man, are fantastic with volunteering and supporting in the community. So there's lots of people inside our community that don't get thanked enough.
I agree.
And I mean that, and I don't want to take away from that. I mean, we're grateful that we are, we can be a vessel and we receive finances to be able to go out and do the work.
That's the way I
Man, I can't thank these organizations enough for what they do inside of our community and the support that they give.
That's awesome.
To be able to make sure that we can make it. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. So they've been fantastic. So, but it takes all of us.
It does. And honestly, the reason I love this so much is because I think a lot of people, they get this misconception that like if they don't do something, nothing's going to happen, or that no change is happening. And I'm like you said, you should just, before you jump into it, like, feet first into this, you got to make sure that you're working with somebody who's already in it. Cause they're, like we said, the resources could already be in a good spot that's going to the right people.
Yeah.
And I think that nowadays there's so many people that just want their name on something just to say that they're doing something for some kind of clout chasing or whatever that goes with that. My buddy Josh Parker, I always say this, man, I love you, man. You're doing a great thing. He says, there's always somebody that has to put something at the end of this. And it's like, I want to help, but I want to do this, but it's like, just help. He's like, it should be just that. It should be in a box, just help. It should like, and I'm like, that is the truest statement I had ever heard. And I'm like, that's what I'm living by. I'm going to put that everywhere that we're going to mount that somewhere up here. It's just going to say just help, like going across there. But yeah.
I was in a men's group meeting Saturday, and they wanted to know about what we do at the mission, and a lot of men there, and that want to come and help. And so one of the things that one of the guys said there, the pastor there, Joey, he was talking about, we don't have to pray about whether we're supposed to help and serve. We're already called to serve.
Yes.
We just need to figure out where he wants to use us at. So there's not a question about whether we're supposed to serve.
Yeah.
We just got to figure out how and where.
And then you can definitely throw that in too. We have lots of amazing churches.
Lots of amazing
Church
churches. I've been
folks
wanting
that
to
support, that help, and that are real big assets in the community. So
House of Grace, big shout out to House of Grace. I went there a few times. I loved the church. I'm like one of the worst people that says like, I need to start going. I got to put my feet where I say that I'm going to go, and I need to start going. Like I have a helping heart. I have a hard time trusting churches, and that has been something that I work on. Like, I love God. I love helping people. I love everything that comes with that. I sometimes have problems with groups, like where I'm autistic, but I got ADHD. So when I'm in a large group, I panic and I don't like it, and it freaks me out sometimes. So like, I'll be in my head and I'm like, what is that guy thinking over there? Why is he? I don't know why he's thinking that, and I can't get out of my head about it. And I'll just sit there, and it just bugs me. So churches are a big, it's a passion project for me. I love helping churches, but I don't like going to them because I don't know enough about them to trust whoever's in it. But I loved House of Grace. I loved they had this mentality of we're all sinners, and it's like, just, it's okay to, just, how can we get better from here, right? So that's what I liked about them, is that they were very like open to everybody. It wasn't like I'm holier than thou. I'm gonna just. They didn't seem like they lorded it over people. Like, you're at a church because this is the place to be to like, get yourself right. Like that's what they're all here for. And I love that mentality. So I will want to start going back over there, and I want to have them come on here actually. I've been wanting to reach out to them because I know that they do a lot of stuff, and you guys work with them a lot. I know. I've heard.
Yeah, we work with them. We work with Old Orchard Christian Church.
Yeah.
I work with New Hope Baptist Church a lot.
That's awesome.
They do a lot with us, and they're great organizations, great churches, and I can guarantee you won't feel any of the same things, those things,
just how,
any of those places. I mean, you'll feel at home. I can promise you that on any one of those
Yeah.
that you go to. So
It is Wildwood Church of God,
Yeah.
Cornerstone Methodist,
Yeah.
Unity Baptist, Legacy Baptist.
That's awesome.
They're Ashland First United Methodist Church. I mean, it's just there are so many. I think there's 80 churches in Boyd County.
Yeah.
And so, and if it wasn't for them, I mean, we have, probably a dozen or more churches that donate every single month to us that help us operate too. So, yeah, there's absolutely no way. And we've had churches who have, I mean, it was great on Saturday. Ended up a few years ago how I met Joey. He had called me, and I think you might have told him to call me. They had a couple that they were working with that was in recovery, decided to be sober, and didn't have a place to live. They were letting them live at the church.
That's awesome.
You know, and
Sweet.
so, but they were
That's
looking
cool.
for resources. We were able to get her into our program, and this church has just stood beside them and walked with them along this path. And I got to talk to her husband the other day, and you know, he's got a job. You know, everything is just going great. But if it hadn't have been for that church stepping in
for sure.
and helping,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
that's
And that's and it always brings back to remind me when I first started doing this. I went to this. It was a substance use disorder working group, and there was a guy there. He was running a sober living home, and he got messed up with drugs when he was a teenager, when he was young, and had used for, probably 20 years. Finally decided to get sober and got clean. And like most people who, when they get sober, they just want to help other people get out of it too.
Yeah.
So he started the sober living home, and we were sitting around big table and just talking. And somebody asked him. They said, "What would it have taken for you not to start using drugs when you were a teen?" You know, and he said, "One adult who cared."
One person. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So that's, I mean, every day we're out here
Yeah.
trying to be that one adult who cares about somebody that it might make a difference in their life.
It's I know when I was young, I heard idle hands are the devil's playground, and that statement cannot be more true. It's the moment that you get bored and you aren't doing anything, that's the moment that you allow yourself to do something stupid, or most times stupid stuff finds you. And it's like, you know, finding programs where you're actually helping people, you're staying active, you're staying into stuff, like that's like the most amazing thing you can do for yourself. And it feels good and it's awesome, and you're going to get props for it. So right now, what is the main things that you guys would like help on if people wanted to call in or say like, hey, I'd like to help out? What's your main things right now that you want to put out there?
Well, in the immediate right now, so this coming Saturday,
Okay.
so we have our yearly golf scramble.
Hey, there we go. I just did one. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday?
Day before.
$1 million shot. If you look on there,
Did they make it?
no, but about 10 feet.
Oh.
Within 10 feet. I mean,
Okay.
man, listen, I made that video and it was so awesome. I had such a good time making that video. He smacks the crap out of that ball. I did like a little nice slow motion for him afterwards. The funniest part though is the people behind him. They're like, oh, there it is, and you can hear it in the slow motion. It's so good, but yeah, it's on there. But
Yeah, so we'll be doing ours at Riverbend. This is our 35th year for this golf scramble, and the money we raise from that, it pays for our adult education and our preschool.
that's awesome.
And so we've had folks that have been coming for years. We got people who travel from halfway across the state to come and play, but there's still some sponsorship opportunities and team opportunities for that. And then come in the morning there at Argolite for that. When you're done golfing, come out to the Boyd County Convention Center.
Yep.
And your neighbors here with Midnight Society Tattoo will be doing Art for Aid out at the
That's
Boyd
cool.
County Convention Center from noon until 11 p.m.
We have not yet got to be introduced to them yet. They're right here in the same building. Anytime they see us, they're really nice. We see them, we're like, hi, but
You
we
have
just
no
go.
idea.
No idea who you're sitting next to.
You have
Gary
no
Carroll,
idea.
Yeah.
Came to us, came to United Way 2 years ago, and said we would like to give the money to the United Way, but we want to make sure it goes towards disaster relief in Boyd County. And at that time, we had to come up with a plan, and so I called him. I said, hey, what do you think about being able to utilize this? Because he wanted it to specifically stay here and through with Boyd County. So I said, So we created a program with that, and so in the 2 years, he's raised almost $30,000
Wow.
to be able to put back into the
Yep.
community for disaster relief. And the stories that we have that have come out of that have been absolutely amazing, and it's all thanks to his heart. And that young man has an amazing heart for our community and what he wants to see done, and
I like
he's
it.
going to continue to. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to have talk with Garrett, I mean, he is absolutely phenomenal.
So I've told everybody in this building that I would do a free commercial for everyone in this building just to represent for this, it's a small community right here, this little shopping center. I mean, I love this place. It's great. Everybody here is nice. Everybody here is like looking out for each other, and I like that. So yeah, I'll definitely go down there and try to
He's
try to
amazing.
speak with him.
Yes, and he's got an amazing team, and they.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be able to raise the funds they've had.
That's awesome.
Can we share a quick? Can you want to share a quick story about what we were able to do with the disaster
and so-
situation? Is that we have enough time?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of agencies and whether it's federal or state or local agencies that can help with different things, but it seems like there's always people who fall in the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the things that concerned him because when he first did this was right after the tornadoes that we had here
Yeah.
locally. And so he was concerned that FEMA or whoever might not be able to help people fully.
Mhm.
And so our community was fortunate. FEMA was able to help take care of people pretty well. And so Garrett said, hey, I just want it to go to help people who can't get help from somewhere else.
That's awesome.
And so the first couple that we got in touch with, so they had lived out here in the county and had an abandoned lot beside them, and the electric pole from that on there fell, ripped the electric out of their house,
Oh,
fell on top of their outbuilding, crushed it. So can't stay in the house. So
Right.
they had to get out, got to a hotel. Red Cross helped them with a few days in a hotel. And so pretty much, any kind of disaster stuff like that, the help is usually just limited for a few days, but man, most of the time the effects are going to be lingering. And so, so she'd gotten a hold of United Way. We went out and talked with them, and man, what a great couple,
that's awesome.
couple, 2 kids. He worked at Walmart down in Louisa as one of the managers there, and she worked for WellCare. And so she couldn't work because she worked by computer, and the computer was in the house.
That's right.
And of course, living in a hotel, food's very different and stuff. And so, they were just so humble, because we asked, what do you need help with? She goes, really, just gas to be able to get him back and forth to work, and food money because it's more expensive living in a hotel.
Yeah.
Like, bam. Marcia called me. He's like, I'll meet you down at the store to buy a gift card.
That's legit.
So took it out to her, and so she was really quick. They'd already called their insurance company, got it worked out to where that the insurance company was going to pay for them to stay in the hotel until it got fixed. She got a hold of the electric company, had them come out and give an estimate for this company, and they cut her a great deal. And so they were doing everything they could, and in the process of talking with them, they had met in high school, got married, and went to school, worked, bought a house. I think they'd only had this house maybe a couple years. So just, the American dream, married,
that's it.
kids, house, doing all the right things. And then this unfortunate thing that had nothing to do with them happens. And so at the end, as with most insurances, you have a deductible. And, with her not being able to work for the last, few weeks and stuff and being more expensive, she's like, really, the only thing we're just lacking is just help with this deductible. And talked to Garrett and talked to Marshall, and it's like, hey, what do we think? And we were able to help take care of the deductible.
Dude,
and
that's
so
awesome.
they were able to move back into their house and really be able to pick right back up where they were because, with the help from Art for Aid and the money that Garrett raised, and then with the connection with United Way, we were just kind of able to help level that out for them. And so
In a short amount of time.
That is really cool.
You know what I
we've
mean?
been
Like they
able to-
weren't waiting. To get
I mean,
this
just
done.
quick, because we can just
That's awesome.
immediately we can help people. And so
And that's
we've
what
had
it's
folks
supposed
that
to be like, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so we've had folks that had gotten jobs, but the brakes on their car weren't good enough to get them all the way out to Smithfield out in Grayson.
Yeah.
We were able to buy them parts. They had a buddy that could put them on for them. We helped them get parts so they could get to work.
That's awesome.
We've had folks that had done college before but didn't do well, and so they owed the college some money and couldn't start back to school. Well,
Know how that goes.
we've been able to match them dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
Every dollar they put in to pay down their debt, we've been able to use money from this Art for Aid to do that. And we've got people that are back in school now only because of this.
That's really cool. Now, I've got something for that. I'm a big proponent for the people that do the trades. Like, you know, like college is great and everything for people that can afford it. That's really cool.
Sure.
I've always heard, like, you know, you go to college for the people you meet, not necessarily the things that you learn. And I thought that's really neat. And if you look at it that way, that's why they charge so much money. It's because the resources that you're going to meet through there is massive, you know. But to any person who's like really wanting to learn something, a trade school should probably be like your very first bet. You get a skill, you're getting paid for said skill as you're learning said skill, and you get to meet a lot of people who can do a lot of cool stuff. Like, do you guys have any like trade schools around here that are like helping?
Absolutely.
And there we go. See,
We work with ACTC and we work
ACTC,
with
there we
JAG, a program for high school students that help them get into programs like that. But then,
And
That's
so,
awesome.
and you're right, because if you look at the jobs that are available in this area, I mean, up and down the river, you got chemical plants all up and
way
down the
through
river.
there. Yep.
And what do they need? Operators, engineers,
Electricians,
welders,
welders, yep.
electricians, AC and heat, all these things.
100%. Yep.
Great paying jobs too. The union, my gosh, I mean,
Yep.
they're short. They're doing a big job in Columbus right now. They don't have enough people,
That's
you know, so apprenticeships and all those kind of things. And so, so we're a huge proponent
yeah.
for skilled trades, because that's
where
jobs
it's
that
at.
are in our area.
That's where it's at.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
where I
so
can
we
we
work with
just-
some great people. Ben Collier, who's
Yep.
a local 248, he's actually a board member of mine, and I mean he is fantastic and a great
Would he
resource.
want to come on to the show? Maybe
I'm
put
sure,
it out there.
I'm sure
Like,
Ben would, and then Griff
Yep. Griff
from
Mason,
Marathon.
yeah.
yeah, we would love to have them on here because
And John,
I'm
he's with the
such-
local building trades. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
There's lots of great resources.
I would
Jag
love
would
to
be
have
good
them
too,
on.
and AC. Yeah,
yeah, we just had our third graduate from the welding program out at ACTC.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so it was a good mix. So here 2 weeks ago, we had a girl who graduated with her bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
We had another girl who'd gotten her GD with us, who got her associates from ACTC,
That's so
and then we had a guy who graduated the welding program.
yeah,
So you know, it's just, you know, part of it is figuring out what people have a passion for, what do they want to do,
that's
and
it.
it requires different things. And so ACTC is great because they've got workforce development and a lot of short certificate type courses. Because you can weld and be good at it, but unless you got a certificate,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right,
Doesn't matter.
exactly right.
and so people just got to invest the time, and it's not very long. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 15 months, 18 months. The lineman program with Marathon.
And again,
like
it goes
that.
back to what you were saying. Some people are looking at the now. They don't think about that, like that 15, 18 months. That's not that long, and time's going to keep moving, man. Like, you'll be done with it so quick, and it's like, God, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
they say, "Oh man, but it'll be hard, and I won't have any free time."
it's like, but
in
good.
fact, we
Keep
just
you out of
had-
trouble, and it's going to come
It
through.
was our 38th. We just had our 38th graduate from either college or vocational school.
That's awesome.
And we tell people all the time, because you know, if you're going to nursing school, because we got our fourth nurse getting ready to start, you know, and these programs are intensive, and it does. It's
Yeah.
going to consume your life for a certain period of
Yep.
time, and people are concerned. I was like, come and talk in person. I've never had, not one of those 38 people has ever told me,
Yeah.
man, I wish I hadn't have spent all that time getting this degree.
100%.
You know, one of the first girls that came into our program, she was a single mom on welfare, living in the apartments, and came into our work placement program. And she said, I did phlebotomy in high school. And she said, I might want to do something in the medical field. It's like, okay. So we got her into our adult education program, kind of get her honed up on English, math, and reading. Dipped into summer semester, some short courses there, just kind of get her feet wet. And so then did 2 full semesters, and she was on the dean's list for both those semesters. She applied
awesome.
to nursing school, got accepted. And one of the neat things, so when she got accepted into nursing school, a property right next to the mission, a little 2-bedroom house, came available.
Yeah.
Lady was renting to her daughter. She was elderly, didn't want to rent it anymore. I said, if you'd let me buy this, I'd love to be able to rent it to one of our work placements who's going to school.
All right.
Kind of call it the trainer house, kind of teach people how to live in a house versus apartment kind of thing.
For sure.
And it figured it'd be a better environment, if you're going to college, having to study and do all this stuff, having a house. So ended up, had a guy renovated it. She moved into that. Ended up, she was president of her nursing class. And so,
She literally did the thing.
yeah,
That's
so a year
awesome.
after that, in August, she graduated.
Yeah.
So I got to be there for graduation.
That's so cool.
A month after that, she took her NCLEX exam.
Yeah.
So which she was not a great tester, but ended up, she got help with this tutoring program to help her kind of hone up for this test. passed the NECLEX first time go, and then in October she got hired as a nurse. She stayed in that house for about another year, working on her credit score. We work with Frontier Housing. They help people, get their credit straight.
Yep.
And saved up money for a down payment. And I got to be in the room when she signed the documents when she bought her house down in Russell.
That is awesome.
For that family, generational poverty ended.
Ended right there.
Ended.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that probably that last 6 months that she was in school, really the only thing that we did for her was let her come in and just vent about how hard
it is. Yeah.
Because having to go to school, being in this work program, having to take care of her daughter, it's hard.
It is hard.
Hard. But she did it. And as great as an accomplishment that it was for her and all the great things that she did, the biggest impact is on her daughter, who will not experience
100%.
Same life that she did. And when she came to us, it was so when you go to nursing program, one of the first questions they ask you that first week, have you write on a piece of paper, why are you doing this? And she has that piece of paper.
That's really cool.
And it says that I just want a better life for me and my daughter.
That's awesome.
And so I got to sit in on our 12th homeowner not too long ago. The same girl who got the bachelor's in psychology, she was our 12th homeowner. Had another girl, she bought a trailer because she got a good job because she was given a car by her brother who was in our program, who had bought a better car than the one that we gifted him.
That's so cool.
And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, we've had, I think we're 203rd person's gotten a job out of our program. Like I said, we had our 12th homeowner, 38th college graduate. Last week was our 38th GED out of our program.
Wow.
Had 13 peer supports. Over 40 people we've been able to go from unhoused to housed. We've had 38 people that's gotten a permit or a driver's license. 21 people have gotten vehicles.
That's a list, man. That's accomplishments right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's every one of those resources that we've got from wherever, whether it's United Way donating to us, supporting us every month like they do, whether it's a church that's given us food, done a food drive for us, whether it's somebody in the community that donated a vehicle. We're blessed to be the hub.
Yeah.
Where we have folks who have struggled and been in need, and we have all these great community partners who aren't sure exactly how to pour in, but they pour in through us so that we can direct the resources where they need to go. And so even though 12 homeowners sounds like a great number and all that kind of stuff, in my head, I can go through, I eat every single one of these and the difference that it made for that family.
For sure.
Yeah, not just a house.
No.
Different. That's how you build generational wealth.
That's what I was about to say.
Is buying a home. And so, so to have people going from single parents on welfare to college graduates with a job and a home.
That's wild.
And so that's what this is all about.
Yep.
And that's what we want to do, a family at a time.
Yep.
That's gorgeous.
And so, we say it all the time. It's United Way has come on board in such a great way to where that they cover our operational costs. So every dollar that comes in from a church, from an individual, from a business, all the funds that come into us, it goes directly to help somebody.
That's awesome.
And that's only because of the support that we get from United Way. So it is like Marshall said at the very beginning, we're blessed to work together professionally because it's a great partnership, but even more because we're friends.
Absolutely.
I got very blessed to meet a person who changed my whole world, and her name was Pam Van Horn, and she was everything to me. Like, she was the coolest woman I ever met, and I had the privilege to call her friend. Like, my whole world changed when I got to work with her. Like, and I think a person who, it doesn't matter whether you're going through recovery, it doesn't matter if you're ex-felon or if you're just down on your luck, if you meet the right person that can teach you a new way to think, a new way to look, you can be a whole nother person by tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's how quick it can turn around for you. If if more people came together and started working on problems together, like we'd knock out these things so quick. But it just seems like everybody wants to be like, I want to do this or I want to do that. And it's so many people doing different tasks, and it takes a village to do one sometimes. And it's like, that's so important, man. I love what you guys are doing, man. It's awesome. If we can ever be a help or of service, you just let us know. We're
You
always
just
here.
did.
Yeah,
And the fact that you allow us to be able to share
100%.
means everything. So we're grateful for that. And the fact that you guys are, I see you everywhere now.
Yeah, we're
And so
everywhere.
it's just awesome that you're getting acclimated into getting people's stories told and
That's it.
captured. That
And like you
history
said-
will be huge one day. You know what I mean?
And like you
it
said,
still is.
this changed my whole family's, like, you know, we went from not ever, I could have never seen myself doing half of the things that I've done in just this little bit of time. And we've been doing this since November. So like our whole world has changed drastically. Like my family will be affected by this change in just my life, making things different for me, changed my whole entire family. So in one little setting, that it can change your whole world. Like that's, to me, that's amazing.
Listen,
And
I buried both of my parents on drugs at a very young age.
Yeah.
I'm a high school dropout,
Yeah.
and I get to stand before people today and say I'm an executive director of an organization inside of a
amazing.
community.
That-
You understand? And a college
Damn.
college
that's
graduate.
amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was all because somebody saw something somewhere,
100%.
right? And the truth of the matter is, my story, it's as great as you may think it sounds here, the story's really told by everything else that led up to getting you
100%.
there, and then everything past that. So
Yeah.
what I get to do today, every single day, I get to wake up and give somebody a chance to do exactly
Awesome.
what I did, and what happened to me. And so, and now I get to do it with so many great people on a regular basis. So I understand we have probably way more in common than you know.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
thinking.
mean?
It's what it
And,
seems
and,
like.
but
That's awesome.
But we're all still connected by the one thing that's most important that we've lost in so many ways is our humanity, right?
That's it. 100%.
We genuinely need to get back to those things, and that's what this truly is going to be and continue to stand for. Like this,
That's awesome.
it's funny because I told him, man, like he was the last person I asked about this partnership program thing, and I was afraid. Everybody else said no. So when I got to him, he was my friend a little bit before this. Like we knew it. We worked in different capacities. We didn't get to really sit down and really talk as much. But I had an expectation for him. If he told me no, he was in trouble. But no,
That's awesome.
And it was the easiest yes, and it was the best thing. So like it's.
That's
But
so
once
cool.
again, even in my adult life,
Yeah.
I have found another person to be around. Not just him, you know, from Joey, like we talked about, Reverend Stanley McDonald. These are very impactful, influential people that continue to keep this thing going. So I love what you guys are doing. I appreciate, and the fact that you're just open to hearing people.
100%.
That Switzerland thing shows up.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It shows
like,
up.
That's what I want. I want, because we've been fortunate to have amazing people want to come on and tell their story. What we didn't foresee is that having some people on our show might inflect us in certain ways to where people get upset. And I have to tell people and remind them, like, we just want to help and we just want the best for everybody.
Absolutely.
And it's like, sometimes we're going to do an interview that just people aren't going to like, or that it's not going to sit well, but they mean well. And so far we've not had one person who like hears that and goes, okay, well, I'm still mad. Like nobody's done that. They've all been like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming with from that. That's cool. And they really like where we're coming from. So we don't do any of the gotcha moments. Well, all we're trying to do is just make Kentucky look better, man. And it's not just Kentucky, the whole tri-state. Like, you know, if it's been a lot of just Kentucky because this is where our home is and this is where our heart is. But if Ohio was like, hey, man, can you come over here and help us with this? We're right there. If West Virginia was like, hey, man, can you come over here? We're right there. It doesn't matter. So anything we can do to help, I think it's just awesome. So
Thank you.
yeah. And we love what you're doing, and we hope to, like I said, as soon as we get done with this, numbers are going on that board right now. And if you guys out there need anything, these are the guys to talk to. I will introduce you and get you right over to them. Yep. That's awesome, man. I love it. I look forward to seeing what we can do in the future. And I definitely want to get, I'm in the look. if anybody out there, if you have a car dealership and you are wanting help with anything, let us know, because we will be in works trying to get you guys some new cars to work on. That will be awesome.
And I'll tell you, Tri-State Auto Connections is a group that we do work with, and I know who's the dealership that just came in, Dutch Miller.
Dutch Miller.
Might be a good resource for you.
Because that's the thing. Like, I love this stuff. I love making commercials. I love learning the filming and doing all this stuff. Like, it's going to get better and better as we go along. And those partnerships are going to be massive in the future. And if it can help people get to jobs that are that's only going to better the community and only going to make things much better every time. So if you guys are seeing this, and you have a car dealership, you better call us, because we might be able to help you guys out. So that's awesome, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. With that, peace.